Morning all, hope you guys are doing well today. Quick video for you, something a bit thought-provoking. I love reading business books. I've devoured so many of them over the years, and one of the best authors I've come across is Robert Kiyosaki. Now, he's very famous for Rich Dad Poor Dad, which by all accounts is a groundbreaking book in regards to financial literacy and education. But his follow-up books are equally thought-provoking. One of them is called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And I'll share with you my key learnings from that book and see what you guys took from it as well. I'd love to hear. But he basically breaks it down. He says you're one of four things. You're either employed, self-employed, a business owner, or you're an investor. And he really invites you to consider which of those four things you are and the reasons why being one is more beneficial than another. So I'll just run through each in turn, give my understanding of what they are, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys to think about this. So if you're employed, you're working for someone in a salaried position. Now, there's pros and cons to that, right? As there are with all of them, but the pros being an element of job security, or at least supposedly so. Anything can happen, as we've seen in the last 6 months during this COVID-19 pandemic. But the cons are that you're working for your employer, right? You're giving away a lot of your time each month, and your time is your most valuable asset. So you're working for your employer, and then you're taxed at source as part of the PAYE scheme here in the UK. So in effect, you're working for the government too, because if your gross pay each month is, let's say, £3,000, perhaps you're giving away £1,000 each month automatically. So good maybe in the sense of job security and predictable income, bad in the sense that you're giving so much away in terms of your time and also in terms of your money, in terms of tax payments that go direct to the government. If you're self-employed, pros and cons to this too, right? Pros wise, you've got a greater degree of flexibility and control over how you organise your life and how you spend your time. The cons are that in a lot of cases you actually end up working more hours than if you were working for someone else. And your time is still finite. There's only so many hours in the day. So if you're self-employed, you're limited by the amount of time you can work, and you'll probably burn out quite fast if you're not careful, and you can't really scale and expand because of the constraint there around there only being so many hours in the day. So really what you want to try to shift towards is being a business owner and an investor, a combination of those two things, because in theory there's no limit to the scale to which you can go when you're in those brackets. If you're a business owner, you own a company that essentially can run and be profitable and sustainable without your involvement. Whether you're there or not, the show goes on, you've got happy customers being delivered, values being delivered to them by a team that you've brought in to run that company for you. And whether you're there or not, it should carry on. Now, you can have a business that can scale to any level in terms of numbers of customers and revenue. You can have multiple business. There's no limit to any of this stuff because you've removed the key constraint being yourself and your time. You've put together a team that's in effect bigger than you are, and you're empowering them, and you're looking after them, and you're supporting them, and you're making sure that they have everything that they need to grow in themselves and grow that business, and you can benefit in turn on more of a passive level. And as an investor, again, this is an example would be owning real estate, whereby you're receiving rent each month from people paying to live in assets that you own with effectively no involvement of your own time. Now, the term passive income and money for nothing in property is a bit overused. There is work that goes into this, so it falls a bit into the business owner camp as well. But in essence, if you've got a great team running that business, dealing with the tenants on your behalf, dealing with the contractors, keeping the thing going, again, whether you're there or not, then it's passive income in a true sense, albeit you've got some expenditure you need to factor for the infrastructure you have to have in place. There's other forms of investment that are less time consuming still, things like owning stocks and shares, for example, where although you may be paying commissions, there's not tenants to manage and things like that. So investments come in many different forms, some less time sensitive than others, but where time is required, try and shift that into the business owner category anyway, so that you're benefiting from a team executing things and removing the block that you often introduce into something. So hopefully that's useful. Consider, where are you now? Are you an employee? Are you self-employed? Are you a business owner? Or are you an investor? And can you find a way over the course of the coming weeks, months and years to shift away from employment and self-employment more towards being a business owner and investor, so that you can remove any barriers to your growth and scale to new levels of wealth and opportunity. So I hope that's useful. I wish you all a lovely day, a successful couple of days ahead, and I hope to speak to some of you guys soon. Comment below, message me. I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. All the best. Bye for now.